You know, my story starts off on the morning of September 19th. I had a really restless night of sleep, and I went to bed at about 9:30, and I remember waking up at about 12:30 thinking it was time to go to work, and I felt like I had, great sleep. And I went back to bed, and I woke up around, I think it was a little after 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got up, went to the bathroom, and I wasn't feeling right. I felt like I had a really restless night of sleep, and when I got up, I started feeling some chest pain right in the middle of my chest. Well, the pain in my chest, it started off kind of light, but it intensified, and when it was very, very intense, it felt like there was a truck driving on my chest, literally, or someone was standing on my chest. And the pain that I had it was all right in the middle of my chest. There was nothing in my arms, there was nothing anywhere else. It was pain that I hadn't felt before. I know that I was in denial that I was having a heart attack. When I woke up in the morning, I didn't want to go. I was actually thinking I was going to go to work. And then of course, I felt that this couldn't happen to me. I mean, I don't have high blood pressure, I don't have high cholesterol, I've had that checked. In terms of family history, maybe a little bit, but my grandfathers were older when they had their heart attacks. Mom and Dad were fine. So this was kind of a really a big shock to me that this could happen to me. So I took a shower and thought I'd feel better, and then I could feel the chest pain starting to increase.
What was going through my mind that morning when he said to me, I have severe chest pain? I initially thought he was having a heart attack. And so just stayed very calm, and we are going to go right now, just get in the car. And as we're driving, I knew where I was taking him. We knew we were going to Mayo. As we're driving there, he's starting to get more sick in the car, and you could feel that happening. And you just couldn't get there fast enough. And once we got there and we had those nurses and that doctor were so calm, telling us what's going on. And so I think that's the biggest piece of that, is that they helped us get through this situation. So.
And then Dr. Becker, of course, was on the scene right away, and he was asking me questions about, where do you want to go? And I said, Abbott. And he said, he was just very reassuring that they already were reading my EKG up at Abbott, and that they were ready to do what they needed to do.
I mean, you're just watching them, and they're all in action. And it's high stress for them, but Dr. Becker comes out, as I'm reading this, Abbott is reading this. It was just so, you knew he was in great hands. And as the first tablet is taking effect, they kept saying to us, now this is what this is doing. It's opening up all your veins, and they give him some morphine just to help calm everybody down and just kind of keep, if they hadn't acted as fast as they did, he wouldn't be here.
As this was going on, especially when I felt the most intense pain, I didn't think I was going to make it. And so obviously I started thinking about my kids, I started thinking about Debbie, I started thinking about, those were my family, those were the main things that I was thinking about. And it just seems like it was all kind of a blur, especially when the pain was, intense, but I still didn't think I was having a heart attack. I was in denial in terms of even when I was there, because I didn't know exactly what was going on. Once I was stabilized at the hospital here in town, they didn't quite know what was, but they knew I was going to Abbott. So when I did go to Abbott, they did an angiogram, and I had 99% blockage of they call it the widowmaker.
Proximal LAD is what they call it.
Of the artery, and they told me, the doctors, I saw several of them that came and checked on me too, and especially the guy that did the surgery, that I was pretty lucky. And they kept on saying that you had minutes. If Debbie hadn't pushed me to get to to the Mayo Clinic Health System here in town, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without Dr. Becker and all the nurses and everyone that helped to, you know, to stabilize me and give me the critical care that I needed so I could live.
Abbott was busy. It was busy. You know, things were pretty calm there too. The nurses there also kept us in track. He had an echo. He also had an echocardiogram down there, and they gave us results of that right away. And then once they took him into the angio, you know, they had a waiting room for me to go to. They weren't sure exactly what was going to happen in the angio. They, you know, it's all guess until you get in there. Didn't know if we were getting a stent or we were going to have bypass or kind of see. And then they called me into a room, and then they showed me the results of his angio that showed the 99% blockage. The doctor walked in the room. He sat down and put his hand right here by me, and he said, getting him there was the biggest key. Getting him there, getting him the help. It's critical for me to be in the place that I was in, to listen to what he was saying. I knew it was bad because his coloring was bad and he didn't make that much sense with his words. But I also knew how critical it was to get where we were and to have them. If they couldn't open that up, they kept telling us at Abbott too, if Mayo didn't open up that artery, and actually the cardiologist told us, I only needed 1%, and Mayo did that. I needed that 1%, and that's why he's here.
And I do know that some people don't get a second chance. I got a second chance, and I wouldn't have gotten that second chance if it wasn't for Debbie getting me there. And like she said before, the critical care that I received at Mayo, and then the care that I got at Abbott. So very, very lucky that I can live a normal life with some changes. We were 3 minutes away, and in terms of what multiple doctors had said, it was minutes. I just had minutes, and if we wouldn't have got there in minutes, I wouldn't be here talking about it right now.
You know, we talk about the small community that we live in. So as we check in at the Mayo, as we check in, and they open the doors, and Brad goes through, and I come through the doors, and down the hall comes Vera Schenecker, and I'm the music director at our church, and Vera's in my choir. It's why we live in a small community, and it just was that comforting. You see someone you know who's taking care of someone you love, and it's because of our small community here, and you know, it was a sense of trust. Vera's here. Everything is going to be okay, you know. And then you have Dr. Becker come on scene, who super calm. I mean,
both my parents have had Dr. Becker before when they were in the ER, so just knowing who he is, I mean, I sat there next to my parents when they needed some ER services, especially my dad. And knowing that Dr. Becker was my doctor, I forgot to say, was extremely reassuring for me too. Because we were very, very happy with the care that he gave my dad when he was there. So I guess my message to everyone is, first of all, on September 18th, when I went to bed on that Monday night, I would have never imagined that I was going to need the emergency medical systems of Mayo. I could never imagine I was going to have a heart attack. So for those of you who believe that you may never need emergency services like we have at Mayo, I'm here to tell you, I'm 40 years old. I was a somewhat picture of health, mostly. That is needed. You never know when you're going to need critical medical care, and I was very lucky that I had Mayo Systems to help me get through my heart attack. And Of course, I know when we walk in the door, I'd like to say, I'd like to thank the receptionist, I don't remember her name, to get her information, but everyone, Dr. Becker, Carol, Vera, and Amy for the great care that I had. And so I think it's very important, and my message to you is that the importance to support our emergency medical system at Mayo. Please do whatever you can, because it could save your life, and it did mine.